Hey there, my amazing royal watchers. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Welcome to another episode of Untold Royal Secrets. It's your favorite royal critic back here again with another explosive update that perfectly illustrates the absolute shamelessness of our favorite California crybaby. You won't believe what Prince Harry has done now. He's given yet another whining interview to the BBC. And this time he's actually blaming King Charles for their rift while hinting that his father may not have long to live. Thank goodness we have Piers Morgan willing to call this behavior exactly what it is: despicable. So now, let's dive right into this latest chapter of the Sussex soap opera, shall we? Our favorite royal reject, Prince Harry, sat down with the BBC for what can only be described as another pathetic attempt to play the victim while simultaneously throwing his family under the bus. In this candid conversation, Harry discussed his fraught relationship with King Charles, claiming they no longer speak and suggesting that security concerns are the sticking point behind the family rifts. The timing of this interview is particularly disgusting, coming right after Harry lost his High Court appeal over his security provision in the UK. That's right. Instead of accepting the court's decision like a grown man, Harry's first instinct was to run to the media and blame his father. Can you believe the nerve of this man? He's literally using his father's cancer diagnosis as leverage in his petty security dispute. In the most shocking part of the interview, Harry had the audacity to mention that he had no idea how long King Charles had left to live. Just let that sink in for a moment. While claiming he wants reconciliation with the royal family, he's simultaneously exploiting his father's illness for sympathy and emotional manipulation. It's absolutely sickening behavior that shows just how low the Sussexes will go to maintain their victim narrative. Thankfully, Piers Morgan, a man who has consistently seen through the Sussexes' charade, didn't hold back in his response. Taking to social media, Piers absolutely eviscerated Harry, calling him a selfish entitled who is blaming King Charles for their rift and suggesting his father may not have long to live. Piers rightfully labeled Harry a despicable rat for this behavior, and I couldn't agree more. But Piers didn't stop there. He issued an urgent call for King Charles to strip Harry and Meghan of their titles ASAP, pointing out that they are never going to stop attacking him, the monarchy, and the royal family, all while simultaneously enriching themselves from their royal status. This is exactly what many of us have been saying for years. The Sussexes want all the prestige and profit that comes with royal titles without any of the responsibility or loyalty that should accompany them. Piers then delivered the knockout blow, highlighting the pattern of Harry's despicable behavior. He trashed his family as Prince Philip was dying. He trashed his family as the Queen was dying. And now he's trashing his family as both his father and sister-in-law have been battling cancer. Is there a more contemptible public figure in the world than Prince Harry? The answer, my friends, is a resounding no. Harry has shown time and again that there is no low to which he won't stoop, no family crisis he won't exploit, and no relationship he won't sacrifice on the altar of his wife's Hollywood ambitions. During the interview, when asked if he felt let down by the UK, Harry had the nerve to say he felt very let down. Can you believe the sheer audacity? He feels let down. What about the British taxpayers who funded his lavish lifestyle for decades? What about the working royals who have had to pick up the slack since he abandoned his duties? What about his grandmother who had to deal with his betrayal in her final years? The entitlement is absolutely staggering. Harry also claimed, of course, some members of my family will never forgive me for writing a book. Of course, they will never forgive me for lots of things, but I would love reconciliation with my family. Well, no kidding, Sherlock. You can't write a tell-all book exposing private conversations, making thinly veiled accusations of racism, and attacking the institution your family has dedicated their lives to, and then expect everyone to welcome you back with open arms. Actions have consequences, Harry, even for former princes. In the interview, Harry argued that he wants his children to know their UK heritage, but claims he cannot bring them or Meghan to his home country as he doesn't feel it's safe without taxpayer-funded police protection. However, the courts have dismissed his appeal, confirming what we all knew. This security issue is nothing but a convenient excuse to avoid facing the family he's betrayed while maintaining his victim narrative. Harry actually had the gall to say for the time being, "It's impossible for me to take my family and me back to the UK safely. Impossible." This man just went to Colombia and Ukraine, literal war zones and high crime areas, but somehow the UK is too dangerous. What planet is he living on? This is the same man who claimed he feels more himself in Africa than anywhere else, and I don't think he's demanding armed police protection there. He continued his pity party by saying, "I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they are going to miss is, well, everything you know. I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. The Victim Act is so transparent, it's embarrassing. If you love your country so much, Harry, why did you abandon it? Why do you continue to trash it and its institutions at every opportunity?" What's particularly gling is when Harry claims, "I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland." Well, whose fault is that, Harry? You chose to leave. Nobody forced you out. You and your wife decided that royal life wasn't glamorous enough, that duty and service were too constraining for your Hollywood ambitions. You can't abandon your responsibilities and then complain about missing the perks. And then comes perhaps the most disingenuous part of the interview. When asked if he had asked his father to intervene in his security battle, Harry claimed, "I've never asked him to intervene. I've asked him to step out. I step out of the way and let the experts do their job." What absolute nonsense! Harry has been dragging the royal family into his security disputes from day one, using his royal connections as leverage while simultaneously attacking the institution. You can't have it both ways, Harry. Let's contrast this behavior with our beloved working royals. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has been dealing with genuine health challenges this year with her cancer diagnosis. Has she been doing whining interviews about it? Has she been using her illness for publicity or sympathy? Absolutely not. She made a dignified announcement, then focused on her recovery away from the spotlight. That's class, that's grace. That's what a true royal does in the face of adversity. William has been the epitome of what a supportive husband and future king should be, balancing his duties with being there for his wife and children during this difficult time. No drama, no complaints, just quiet strength and dedication to service. The contrast with his brother couldn't be more stark or more damning for Harry. And let's not forget King Charles, who has also faced his own cancer diagnosis this year. Did he use that for publicity? Did he milk it for sympathy? No. He announced it, took a brief period to focus treatment, and then got right back to his duties. That's the difference between those who understand what public service means and a certain ginger-haired crybaby who thinks the world revolves around his grievances. Queen Camilla, too, has shown incredible resilience. After years of unfair negative press, she has quietly won over the British public through hard work, genuine warmth, and commitment to her charitable causes. She doesn't seek the spotlight or demand recognition. She simply gets on with the job, and the public has responded to that authenticity with growing affection and respect. Meanwhile, the Sussexes seem to lurch from one self-created controversy to another. Their projects have faltered. Spotify dropped them after a single podcast series. Their Netflix output has been sporadic at best, and their Archwell Foundation has faced questions about its activities and finances. Each new venture seems designed more for publicity than substance, more focused on building the Sussex brand than making a genuine difference. What's particularly sad about this whole situation is how far Harry has fallen from the beloved prince he once was. Remember the Harry who created the Invictus Games, the one who served in Afghanistan, the one who carried out his royal duties with charm and dedication. That man seems to have disappeared, replaced by someone who appears to be completely under the influence of his wife's Hollywood ambitions and victim narratives. Many royal insiders and friends of Harry have expressed privately how unrecognizable he's become. The once cheeky, charismatic prince who connected so easily with people from all walks of life now seems detached from his roots, his family, and the nation that once adored him. And interviews like this only reinforce the perception that the Sussexes are increasingly out of touch with reality and obsessed with status and image. I often wonder what Princess Diana would think of all this. She had her issues with the royal family, certainly, but she never abandoned her sense of duty to the British people. Even after her divorce, when she was no longer HR, she continued her charitable work with dignity and passion. She didn't flee overseas. She didn't sign multi-million deals to tell her story. And she certainly didn't use her platform to attack the institution that gave her a global voice. She understood that being royal was about service, not celebrity. The tragedy in all this is that it didn't have to be this way. Harry and Meghan could have carved out meaningful roles for themselves within the royal framework. They could have used their platform to effect real change while maintaining the dignity and respect of their positions. Catherine and William have shown it's possible to be modern, relevant royals without trashing the institution or abandoning their duties. But the Sussexes chose a different path, and now they are facing the consequences of those choices as their star power dims with each passing day. Piers Morgan is absolutely right. The king must strip Harry and Meghan of their titles. They have shown time and again that they have no loyalty to the institution that gave them those titles, no respect for the family they are supposed to represent, and no understanding of what royal duty actually means. They want the prestige without the responsibility, the platform without the scrutiny, the respect without having earned it. And enough is enough. The fact that Harry would give this interview while his father and sister-in-law are battling cancer shows just how self-absorbed he's become. The fact that he would blame his father for their rift while hinting at the king's mortality shows just how low he's willing to go. The fact that he would continue to use his children as emotional leverage in his security battle shows just how cynical the Sussex operation has become. My loyal viewers, as we wrap up this discussion of Harry's latest embarrassing interview, I want to know what you think. Has he finally gone too far with this exploitation of his father's illness? Do you agree with Piers Morgan that the Sussexes should be stripped of their titles? And how long do you think it will be before Harry realizes that he's the architect of his own misfortune? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and remember, support our wonderful working royals who understand what true service and dignity look like. Until next time, keep championing the real royals who deserve our loyalty and support, not the California cribbies who abandon their duties, but still want all the perks. Peace out.